All right, all right. What's going on? What's going on? Let's get it, man. Man, let's get started early with this one. What's up with everybody, man? Sunday morning. Sunday morning, man. I wanted to get it real early. I wanted to catch this early morning crowd, Washington, D.C., man. Salute to you guys for tapping in. Let me check the audio, man. Let me do a quick microphone check. Hold up. Let's get it. All right. Everything sounds good, man. It sounds good. So listen, man, we're gonna dive into the conversation. Rectors, what's good with you, bro? Washington, D.C. Hey man, let's link. I'm gonna drop my Gmail for you, man. That's what I'm gonna do right now. So you want to get in contact with me, man, you can hit me right here. Boom. Shout out to Reckless, man. All right, all right. Okay, everything is good, man. That's what's up. Yeah, man. We got a whole lot to talk about, man, this morning. You see the title, man, Chud the Builder. It was a copycat that got unalived. It was another copycat that got knocked out. And man, but hey, we seen it coming. It's common sense. I spoke on this last week, man. Telling you that anytime somebody becomes successful at doing something, you're gonna see a whole lot of copycats, right? That's like when Kevin came out, right? Well, when Kevin blew up. I ain't gonna say when Kevin came out, when he blew up. When Kev blew up and his channel started getting big numbers, uh, you start seeing a lot of guys putting on suits, with a little studio set up, you know? So people gonna follow that. And for you, it's not even a trend, it's just you doing what you're doing. It's kind of like how Tyreek Nasheed will roast tethers, you know. But listen though, but that's Tyreek just being Tyreek. He's not following a trend. That's naturally him. Now you got a lot of guys claiming to be FBA arguing with tethers, following that same strategy. And like I said, it's not even a strategy for Tyreek Nasheed. It's just Tyreek being Tyreek. So a lot of guys started to copy. Let me argue with tethers. Let me be so pro black and so FBA. So a lot of guys started to follow whatever they saw Tyreek doing. So you get what I'm saying now with this Chud the Builder thing. With this Chud the Builder thing, you got a lot of white boy copycats thinking they can go viral by disrespecting black folks publicly. And this is common sense. Like I said, the moment that I saw that Chud the Builder video, I said, we're going to see a whole lot more. We're going to see a whole lot more of this. You're going to see random white boys antagonize black people because it's working for Chud the Builder. Right now, even though Chud the Builder's in jail, this is before Chud went to jail. I was saying there's going to be copycats of this. Yeah, hit the like button, man. I want you guys to peep this real quick. Get up in here, man. And as soon as we hit the 5 minute mark, man, we're gonna start. We're gonna dive right into the conversation. He said, I kind of agree with you that he said Kevin Samuels and his wing woman, Jessica X. I remember Jessica X. All them black men was over there breaking it. Man, they was breaking themselves, man. you had a gang of you had a gang of black men throwing their money. And the thing is, nobody ever seen. Let me say this real quick. I gotta blow this up, man. I gotta get on Black Men Helmet real quick. I gotta get on our helmet real quick before I get into this clip. You had black men over there breaking off money. Never seen this woman on camera. Don't know nothing about her. Now, her message was pretty solid. She's agreeable with men for the most part. So a lot of black men gravitated to it. They were sending this broad all types of money. And my thing is this, man. Anytime these females get online talking all this black empowerment stuff, or if she's for men, she's pro men, like one of those type of speakers, one of those type of chicks. Y'all need to listen, homie. I don't dig into people's background because I really don't care. But if you're going to advocate for something, you need to be that. Listen, homie, they didn't know nothing about this woman. They didn't know anything about this woman. She popped up out of nowhere pretending to be an advocate for black men. Nobody has ever seen her. No one knows her. They don't know anything about this woman. And black men was over there making it rain. Oh, they was over there making it rain. Listen. Now, that's the reality of it. This is why when these chicks come around, you need to know how many baby daddies you got, how many kids you got. Not because you're going to spread her information. You need to know who you're dealing with. Like I said this the other day, I said, when these females come to these discords and you guys be having these powwows and talking, you need to know what you're dealing with. This might be one of those chicks with a gang of kids, different baby daddies, and you just need to know. It's kind of like when you go get a job, they want your resume. Well, I operate the same way. Before I start dealing with you, I need to know your resume. And that's the thing, and that's black men's fault. Listen, before I get into the clip, I'm gonna say this. People associated me with red pill manosphere, right? Just because my conversation about women. So people would throw me in the manosphere red pill category, even though I've never knew what red pill was. My game comes from the streets. My game comes from being in a female's face, so I never knew what the hell no red pill was, right? In the red pill manosphere community, it was a lot of Sambos over there, right? So one thing is this, man. I'm gonna break down the difference, and we're gonna get right into this clip. Soon as we hit the 10-minute mark, we're gonna dive into the story. Soon as we hit the 10-minute mark, right? This is gonna be short. Anyway, some of the fundamentals of the black manosphere and some of the things they talked about, things pertaining to black male empowerment, black men doing what's best for them. I agreed with a whole lot of that stuff they said, right? And some of it was good. Some of the information is good. But then you had a whole lot of Sambos, guys who were just speaking against women, but were also right-wing Sambos. So I'm like, whoa, hold on, man. Some of that stuff you're saying about women and female nature is on point, but that's Sambo behavior. So I started to realize that, man, there's a whole lot of Sambos over here, man. I don't fit in with these dudes. So I didn't like people associating me with that. I'm like, man, hey, man, I go hard on women, but I don't hate women. And I'm not a Sambo. I'm not a tap dancer. So I didn't fit in with none of that. Now, you might say the same now on the FBA side. Now, come on, if I'm going to tell the truth about the manosphere, the red pill guys, and that's not all of them, but it was a lot of them. It was a lot of Sambos that infiltrated that space. You got some solid brothers over there, but unfortunately, the Sambos messed it up. Anyway, let's get back to what I was saying. Now, on the FBA side, you got guys who will call out white supremacy, who will talk about black history, but They're simps, man. Shout out to my FBA brothers. I love y'all, man. Trust and believe I do. A lot of that stuff y'all be saying about white supremacy, you know, you love to break down history. You love to speak on black folks' accomplishments, foundational black American accomplishments. I salute you for that. You know, teaching our people how to take pride in themselves. I salute you for that. Okay, but check this out. When it comes to correcting black women, a lot of our brothers in these FBA spaces just can't do it, man. Oh, they drop the ball when it comes to women. They go hard on white supremacy and tethers, but they drop the ball when it comes to women, man. I'm like, so you can't listen. You can't get balance from none of these guys. The red pill manosphere guys will hold women in count. They will hold, you know, women in general accountable, right? But they were sambos and tap dancers for the MAGA community. Now we got our FBA brothers who fight for black history, right? But they soft as hell when it comes to these women, man. They listen, man, they offer no correction to the black woman at all. So, you know, listen, homie, that is why King Supreme is in his own lane. I'm a foundational black American, but I do things differently, man. I move different. I operate different. At some point, you got to hold that woman accountable, man. And anyway, let's go, man. Let's get into this. Shout out to the brother right here. Coach D speaks. See, I heard about the dude getting unalived in Detroit, right? But this right here is a whole nother situation where a white dude was, you know, using the N-word, talking crazy, and somebody clocked him, dropped him.
Racist. He would go to black communities and provoke and antagonize black people by calling them the N-word, saying they're chimping out, all so that he could get more likes and views and essentially make more money. Recently, he went somewhere, he did this, someone got into a fight with him, he shot them, he shot himself. Luckily, that man is still alive, but Chud the Builder is still sitting in jail. His bond just got dropped from $1.2 million to $1 million, but he has not put up that bond. Recently, there have been many copycats. There are a lot of black people in the service industry, Uber drivers, people walking down the street or whatever, who are dealing with people who are copycatting Chud the Builder because they saw what it basically, they saw the dividend, the return on that investment that he was getting out of that. For the most part, before Chud the Builder got into this altercation with this black man that he shot, Chud the Builder was just making money off of this content. So now there are a lot of these, you know, Chud the Builder copycats out there who are going up to black people, getting inside of their Ubers, calling them the N-word, saying that they're chimping out, being on live and all of that, because these people want to benefit the way that they saw Chud the Builder benefit. Well, some of these people are fucking around and finding out. In this video that I'm going to show you, this is what is going to happen when you approach the wrong person.
I gotta block it. See, look. Now I don't know why this white dude was talking crazy. Look, you gotta see the foot position. You know, somebody finna steal off. Watch this right here. But I can't. The crazy part about it is YouTube is so sensitive. I can't really show you guys, you know, the knockout. I can just show you before and the aftermath because I don't want YouTube striking my video on some weak ass. You know what? Watch this right here. Now, this is the 1 minute and 39 second mark. Watch this. Watch how he positioned them legs. I don't know why this white boy was talking crazy, but he was talking greasy. Your N-word, yeah, this, and I can't even play the video because the raw video was just like, it's too much. They might mess around and demonetize it, but he was talking reckless. I don't know what made him think he could get away with this. Well, Chud the Builder. Look at them legs, man. He like he was like hey man, that brother got it. No, listen, his knees went down. He cocked that fist back and was like, "Bye out." Watch this, man. I gotta show you that. Look. Oh, look at him. Look. Dropped him.
Now, YouTube doesn't.
Oh, man. He really thought he can go around just using the N-word recklessly, videotape it, and somehow he's gonna go viral somehow. So again, man.
Now, YouTube doesn't like it when you show someone getting to find out after they fucked around, so my apologies if any of that had to be blacked out. But as you can see what happened there, that guy got his ass knocked out. And unfortunately, this is going to happen more often now.
I want to show y'all I want to blow it up and show y'all. I just can't. Right here now, look. There you go. I had to catch it right there. I had to blow it up on a big screen. He was talking reckless. Oh boy, cocked back and pow. But see, I seen this coming, man.
Now, YouTube doesn't like it when you show someone getting to find out after they fucked around, so my apologies if any of that had to be blacked out. But as you can see what happened there, that guy got his ass knocked out. And unfortunately, this is going to happen more often now because people saw what Chud the Builder got away with. So you're going to have more of these copycats going out and provoking and antagonizing people. And listen, as much as I love watching these people get the find out, as much as that was very satisfying for me to see this guy get knocked out, I want to caution black people because a lot of these people are showing up with weapons. A lot of these people are showing up with police officers on speed dial. And as satisfying as that was, I unfortunately don't believe many of these situations are going to end like this. So please be careful how you engage these people. Hopefully, a lot of this.
Yes, and I agree with him on that. Like, some of these white boys got a license to carry, right? So you got to be careful. You know what I mean? Because let's say if that white boy was strapped, right? Let's say if he punched the white boy, dropped him, and then the white boy pulls, the blick out and start, clapping at old boy, right? Hits him a few times, unalives him. They're going to say, well, you had no business putting your hands on him. He could say whatever he want, right? So you thinking like, well, hold on. He can antagonize somebody, say whatever he want. I punch him. Now he has the right to shoot me. See, that's dangerous right there, right? I need everybody that's rocking, that's watching to bless that like button. We chopping it up. Let's have a conversation this morning. So he calls me a million N-words and a monkey. I drop him. Now he has the right to shoot me. He can say whatever he want to say. You have no right to put your hands on him. Like, what? That's crazy. Now, in some states will say you have to use equal force. Now, let me tell you something. In Florida, Biggie, I did a story back in 2021. This is back in 2021. It was a white guy. He was arguing with this black female in the parking lot. Her husband was in the liquor store, the market, or whatever it was. He came outside, right? And he see the white guy arguing with his girlfriend over a parking space. It was a parking space argument. Anyway, the black dude walks up to the white guy like, why are you arguing with my wife? He get in his face, right? And the white guy was trying to explain himself. And then old boy pushed him. Like hard. Old boy hit the ground. White boy hits the ground. When he hits the ground, he whips out and boom, 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 fires a few shots. Unalives the black dude. And He got away with it. He said he was in fear of his life. This big black guy approached him, walked him down. The black guy put his hands on him. So out of fear, he opened fire, grabbed his weapon and opened fire, and it was justified. Now we're talking about the state of Florida. We're talking about Florida here. You know, let's get back to it, though. I don't know if you guys heard about that case, but yeah.
Us trying to, put a light on these things are gonna cause,
See, now, like Big E said, the equal force thing is an argument, right? But check this. In certain states, if a person say they was in fear and a judge buys it, he gonna say, well, I went to the extreme because I was in fear. Now, should they believe it? Absolutely not. Why? Because everything was on video. There's no way that this dude should have been in fear of his life. But when you got an all-white jury in one of these red states, you already know. You listen, homie, you already know how that's gonna go. Crazy.
The justice system to start looking at these things differently, because this is antagonizing. This is provoking. This is them being the initial aggressor to try to get something out of people. And, this video, absolutely satisfying. To see this happen to this dude, I love every second of it. This is what I think should happen every time. This is what I hope the end result of this would be every single time. This guy didn't have a chance to pull a weapon. He had a chance to do nothing because he was running his mouth, and that dude was like, yeah, I don't do the run the mouth thing. So I'm gonna knock your ass out. And then when you wake up, you're gonna realize you fucked up. Unfortunately, please be careful how you engage with these people, because their intentions are to get you harmed or arrested. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make you another statistic. So please be careful. Please be aware. Please understand that these people are out here to do these things on purpose to hope.
All right, let's see what Willie D had to say, man. You said the one in Detroit might be fake. Let's see what Willie D had to say about it.
Was intact
because Willie D usually does a lot of research when it comes to these stories. So let's hear about. And now this is the one in Detroit, right? So Willie D is gonna break it down. Now they say a Chud the Builder copycat in Detroit got unalived. Willie D can tell you better than I can. Shout out to Willie D.
I came across this wild story of a copycat of Chud the Builder. Chud the Builder is a crud, uncivilized mutt who goes around calling Black people the N-word, trying to provoke them into a fight so that they can end up in jail or he can get a free kill. Shoot him. He walks around with his gun and he threatens to pull that gun, and sometimes he does pull it out. He brandishes the gun to try to scare people. Well, he shot a guy, and long story short, he shot a guy about a couple of weeks ago, and he ended up in jail. He's sitting in jail right now on a $1.25 million bond. He's raised over $250,000 in his Save Go, whatever the damn, I can't never say that damn name of that funding company. But he's raised over $250,000 from a legion of other uncivilized mutts who would like to see him beat the case where he shot a man, tried to kill a man. But right now he's in jail for
we're gonna let Willie D ramble for another 30 seconds, and we're gonna get right into the Chud the Builder copycat situation. Right. We already know, man. You had people saying, turn the other cheek. You had dumbass Tampon Daniels and what's that Carmen JC idiot? Ignore it. You know what happens when you ignore stuff like that? It gets worse. Next thing you know, you got 50 copycats. Now the disrespect is so out of hand that you got to do something about it. This is why you nip it in the bud when it happens. Tampon said, turn the other cheek. Don't say anything about it. Take it on the chin. Now, look at what happened this quick. We already got Chud the Builder copycats running around. Already. But turn the other cheek, huh? Shut your dumb ass up.
Murder, and he's trying to get out. Well, it wouldn't be surprising if that was copycats, right? Because, you know, there's a lot of people in this country that don't have an original thought, and they are followers. And it would not be surprising to find out that there was a copycat out there. So insert this guy by the name of Chud the Antagonizer. Chud the Antagonizer, they say, is the copycat of Chud the Builder, and he got himself killed after attacking a black woman. Well, he was antagonizing this black woman. He targeted her on live stream while she was at the gas station and all this type of stuff. This is the story that has been told. This is the story that a lot of people online are running with. So I'm like, you know, anytime I hear a Wild Wild West type story, I have to dig deep. I dig deep, right? And the trip part is I didn't have to dig too deep to figure out what the truth was on this story. I want y'all to check it out and tell me what you think about it first and foremost. And let me share the link. As you can see right here, this is a dead giveaway right here. Detroit AI. This was on Detroit AI's Instagram page. A horrific confrontation at Joy Road gas station left 21-year-old live streamer Chud the Antagonizer dead after what police say began as a racist social media stunt inspired by controversial creator Chud the Builder. Witnesses.
So this dude name is Chud the Antagonizer. Listen, I'm gonna let it play, but I had to interject real quick. This dude called himself Chud the Antagonizer. Look at these Chud the Builder copycats.
Inspired by controversial creator Chud the Builder, with witnesses saying that Chud approached 75-year-old Pauline Barnes while she pumped gas, calling her mammy and Aunt Mama, before turning his attention to her grandson, Douglas Barnes. During the live stream, Chud allegedly yelled, "Don't be a lazy N-word. Why aren't you pumping the gas?" before mocking him to viewers by saying, "The N-word is aping out." Police say Douglas snapped, knocking Chud unconscious before allegedly dousing him in gasoline and setting him on fire with a cigarette. The flames quickly spread through the station, sending thick black smoke over Detroit's west side. Chud died at the scene. Pauline later turned herself in, and Douglas Barnes remains on the run as investigators continue searching for him. The shocking incident has sparked intense online debate about rage-bait content, racism for clout, and how people are willing to go viral for fame. Yeah, and how people are willing to go viral for fame. You're talking about yourself, Dax News. See, that's the dead giveaway, right? This is supposed to be Chud the Antagonizer, this guy right here. But this is the dead giveaway, Dax News. So a quick research of this, family, a quick browser search of this name, and you'll see that it's not a legitimate media source, right? So that's that. But I will say this, even though this is, in my opinion, a fake media source, it's plausible because we have a lot of uncivilized mutts in this country, right? There are a lot of uncivilized mutts in this country. And that's why people were so quick to believe the story. But anytime there's a wild, wild west story, I have to dig a little deeper because I want to make sure that I'm not just, reporting the first thing they come across and not giving these people the reaction that they want, right? But this situation right here is
See, the thing is, we don't have to get in our feelings, right? At all. You know, we come here to chop it up. We come here to share information. So it's not about being emotional or any of that, right? It's about us learning, because let's say this story was fake, right? But we know there's a lot of copycats out there. So we share this information to put each other up on game about what's really going on. That's the purpose of us. You know, when I do these live streams, it's kind of like a meetup, because a lot of like-minded people show up. And then, you know, you always going to get a lot of trolls, people who come over here to antagonize and be disrespectful. That comes with the territory. I expect that. But for the most part, this is for like-minded people to link up and chop it up. Hit the like button, man, and support the show. Get the likes up for your boy.
going to birth copycats. I can guarantee you that. Because like I said in the beginning, there are people in this country, plenty of people in this country, who don't have an original thought. Every time they see somebody else doing something, they want to go run and do the same thing.
I was saying that, man. I said that 2-3 weeks ago. I said most people are just copycats. Like, people copy Kevin Samuel with the women putting on the suits. A lot of people copying Tariq Nasheed, people who want to debate with tethers all day. So it's like people don't have original thoughts. Whatever works, they're going to copy whatever works. You know, that's what people do. So with this Chud the Builder situation, I've heard about so many situations. It's crazy.
Even when you look at art, creativity, right? If you look at music, you ever notice how every era of music, most of the music sound the same? You can tell what the era is by the sound. Like, I can hear music and I can tell you, if I've never heard the song, I can hear certain musical components in a song, and I can tell you what era that music come from.
All right. Shout out to Willie D, man. Shout out to Willie D. Poetic Flacco. People love Poetic Flacco, goofy ass.
Chud and his team of
one thing about Poetic Flacco, man, one thing you can't take from him is he's a real journalist, though. He's goofy as hell, but the goofier you are, the more people like you, man. The goofier you are, the more people gonna like you. I promise you. Like, Poetic Flacco was one of the corniest, one of the most goofiest guys in school. Now he's making money with this podcast. He feel like life is finally giving him his just due. He's always been the corny guy, the goofy guy who couldn't dress, who had no personality and no swagger. Now that he's making money with media, he feels like he's on top of the world. But let's see what he had to say about this Chud situation.
white supremacists are criminals. These people are nefarious and sketchy in every way possible. Chud and the hooligans and the criminals who work on his team has found a workaround to a judge's order. So a judge ordered that Chud bond has been reduced to $1 million, but he can't use any of the donations the racists donated to him, right, during his GoFundMe when he got locked up. He can't use any of that money. Well, the hooligans has found a workaround, people.
I'm in trouble in Nashville when he was out on bond, and then in Clarksville, he does this. Social media is the common denominator, so let's get you off of that right now, okay? And as far as the money for the bond, let me come back, and I'm gonna say that, and then I'm gonna show you some more videos, but there's your boy Chud without his shave, okay? Now, the thing about the bond...
Hey, man, they fighting hard to bail this white boy out. Oh, they fighting hard to get this dude out of jail. We're going to get on the Myron gang situation next. You know, black men who rock with Myron gangs, we're going to get on that next. Like, black men, are you that desperate for media and social media fame that you will link up with Myron So we're going to talk about that after this. Now, these white folks, man, they're doing everything in their power to get old Chuddy boy up out of jail. They're trying to pull every string they can pull to get him up out of jail.
Money. There is allegedly an online benefactor who's prepared to pay the money, an anonymous benefactor. He cannot use his GoFundMe money, or pardon me, the Give, Send, Go money, because that money was not raised for that purpose. And if you use that money for that purpose, it's called fraud. Also, Give, Send, Go's own policies say that you cannot use.
So that's crazy. They said that Chud cannot use the GoFundMe money to bail out because it's not for that. So can he use it for his legal defense, or he can't? I don't know. This is crazy. This is Anthony Brian Logan, man. He used to do interviews with O'Shea back in the day. I remember him. He used to be around the Black Manosphere. I remember ABL.
Pay the money, and an online benefactor who's prepared to pay the money, an anonymous benefactor. He cannot use his GoFundMe money, or pardon me, the Give, Send, Go money, because that money was not raised for that purpose. And if you use that money for that purpose, it's called fraud. Also, Give, Send, Go's own policies say that you cannot use this platform to raise money for people who are charged with this kind of crime. So you can't use that money. Again, it was not raised for that purpose, and the policies of Give, Send, Go say you can't do it.
Can somebody please explain to me how a judge has the legal authority to say that somebody's not allowed to use their donations for bail money? This makes no sense to me. I don't understand how a judge has a legal authority to say that, hey, yeah, somebody gave this to you, but it's no good here. You're not allowed to use that. That doesn't make any sense. I don't understand how they can legally do this. I think it's garbage. I've never known of any of the minority groups, whenever they go out here and commit these crimes and they fundraise, I've never once known them. As a matter of fact, I remember Kamala Harris raising money for Antifa and BLM protesters, and I don't remember any of them being denied bond or bail because that money was fundraised. Somebody explain this to me, why this man is being singled out.
He tried to murder somebody outside of a courthouse, but that's not the point here, okay? These people are freaking criminals, bruh. Whatever they say about us, whatever stereotype they try to put on us, it applies to them. These dudes came out and made a public statement. They said, hey, we know the judge, the sitting judge, you know who wears the robe, who got the gavel, an entire appointed judge. Well, we don't care about his ruling. He said that we can't use the money that people donated during the Give, Send, Go to pay the bond. People have donated almost $300,000 now. You can't use that money. So
yeah, excuse me. They already raised like 300 grand, y'all. Chud been in jail for like what, a week now? A whole week? And they already raised about 300 grand for him. The thing is, he can't use the money to bail out. So he's frustrated.
These criminals who don't care about the law, they're defiant, they're lawless, and they're probably going to get away with this too. They say, hey, do any wealthy person here, do any rich and wealthy person here want to help pay this bond? We can't use the Give, Send, Go money to pay the bond. However, if you help pay the bond, whatever it takes, you know, the $100,000 plus collateral to pay your bond, well, we'll just give you the $300,000. So if you pay the $100,000 and put up some collateral.
Well, hey man, y'all a trip, man. This ain't about Poetic Flacco being a tether or an African. We just dealing with the story, man. This is why people be saying, man, FBA is a hate group, man, because y'all be going around to different comment sections that's roasting Africans and Caribbeans, even when they ain't really got nothing to do with the story. He just giving commentary on a racist white boy. You know, he's a goofy, no doubt. But Poetic Flacco was good at what he do, though. He's good at what he do. He's a great journalist. I'll give it to him. Now, some of that information is wrong, especially when he talks about street stuff. When it comes to street stuff, he get a lot of that information wrong. But this is the thing, people want to hear it anyway. A lot of those things don't check out, especially when he covers street stories. But what I realize, this is what I realize about social media. People just want to be entertained. Most people really don't care about the truth. But that's a whole nother story. Let's get back into it.
Well, we'll give you $300,000. So they're still using the gifts and go money. They're still using the donations to pay his bond. They're just doing it indirectly. So the judge says you can't use the money to pay the bond, so we'll just pay you. Then you pay the bond with your money. Well, then, you know, we didn't. These absolute criminals, and guess what? It actually worked. Because somebody has now came forward to say they are going to pay Chud's bond. Aiden Ross' best friend and homie, Paul Miller. If you guys don't know who Paul Miller is, then you are very fortunate. You are very lucky that you don't know who this guy is. Let's just say this.
We're going to go back to this. I want y'all, I'm going to show you what the judge said, man. And we're going to go right back to Flacco, man. I should have queued this stuff. My bad, y'all. Check it out.
You're going to be removed. Anybody?
Man, here go Jake Lane. Jake Lane is a white supremacist that always shows up when something happens to a white person. He's like the white, who could I say? Like Benjamin Crump. He's like the white version of Benjamin Crump. He goes around and his main goal is to defend white supremacists. Hit the like button, man. Let's get it.
On that side of the bar does not have a speaking role in any of these proceedings today. There's not going to be any hoopla or shenanigans from the gallery. You're going to be removed, and I'll talk about that in a second. That's just not the way it works. We're going to have a orderly hearing today. If there's anybody speaking out or any kind of problem out in the gallery, that's going to be considered open contempt, and you're going to be subject to up to 10 days in jail or a $50 fine or both. All right, for the record, Mr. Eathley's now in the courtroom with by side Mr. Finley.
Look at him, man. Hey, man, that jailhouse is hard, man. Eating bologna sandwiches. Who's chimping out now, Chud? Who's the chimp now? They got you in a cage, Chud. You're the one that's chimping out, buddy. Chud is desperately, he's desperate to get up out of jail.
General, how do you want to proceed with this morning? All right, we're ready.
Throughout the hearing, 2 people were escorted out for disruptions, and 1 man was taken into custody for contempt.
Please, thank you. And the future justice. All right.
See, that's Jake Lane. Do you guys listen? Do you guys remember when I covered the Austin Metcalf, Carmelo Anthony? That particular case, Austin Metcalf, Carmelo Anthony. Jake Lane was the one who did a White Lives Matter rally. He did a White Lives Matter rally right after, you know, the Austin Metcalf situation. There you go. He wants to be, but see, the thing about it is this: Benjamin Crump has more class than him. Benjamin Crump don't go around antagonizing people. He just pull up to speak, and that's it. This white, he pulls up with bullhorns. He promotes white supremacy. This dude is a mess. Jake Lane is a damn mess. Yeah, man, he put that White Lives Matter rally. He put that shit together. I believe it was like in Texas somewhere. A White Lives Matter rally.
Please, thank you. And the future justice. All right, take him into custody. Take him into custody. I told you, sir, you did not have a speaking role today. You decided that you wanted one for whatever reason. I don't know why, but take him into custody.
I think it's reasonable to have a gag order on the defendant.
Yeah, man, he chimped out in court, man. So when you think about what, like, when you listen to the things they say about us, it's like you doing the same thing. You was chimping out in court. They had to get you up out of there. Chud the Builder chimped out. This is why he's in jail in the first place.
Should he make bond? And I guess even while he's in the jail and has his I don't know, iPad or whatever, but he cannot live stream, host, or anything that indirect.
Yeah, man. It was right after the Austin Metcalf situation last year. They did it was a White Lives Matter rally. That's all it was, homie. Then you had the white dude saying, "White men fight back, white men fight back, white men fight back." All that old goofy stuff with Confederate flags everywhere, yelling and chanting, "White men fight back."
Directly or directly encompasses these offenses.
Your Honor, but the First Amendment is very important to a free country. Without us being able to talk about ideas freely, we can't really be a free society. Now, I mean, repugnant ideas are still protected.
Anton Daniels, he was at the rally. We're gonna go right back to this. Watch this. Now they did this in Cali. They did one of these in Cali. This was Huntington Beach. Now there's a lot of white supremacists in Cali too. Don't get it twisted. Check this out.
Back, white man, fight 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 back, back, white man, fight 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 back, back, white man, fight back, white man, fight back, white man, fight back, white man, fight back.
Now you might say, fight back against who? What do you mean white men fight back? You're not being oppressed. It's crazy when white boys talk like they're just being oppressed. You know, you got all these different white supremacist groups who do, and they put these rallies together all across the country, telling everybody that the white man is going to become extinct. The white man is going to be the minority in his own country. The white man is being oppressed. They're taking the white man's job. They're kicking the white man up out of his own country. They're kicking the white man out of the nation that he himself built. This is the rhetoric. This is the rhetoric. That's their rhetoric right there. That type of foolishness. You talking about, listen, I don't know where Tampon Daniels is, but it sounds like they're running the Victimhood Olympics to me. It sounds like they are running the Victimhood Olympics to me. Pretending like the white man is a victim, pretending like the white man is just so oppressed in his own country. That's crazy. White men fight back. Fight back? Fight back. That's crazy. White men fight back.
This is the only man on the internet who's probably worse than Chud. And that's saying a lot. He is probably worse than Chud, and that's saying a lot. So he got a sponsor because a lot of these dudes have ostracized themselves from society, that they can't really work no real job. They aren't really allowed on any platforms where you know they can monetize. So they have to latch on to other white supremacist organizations. Now he got a sponsor. I'm not going to say their names, F him, right? But they are a casino. Now, apparently the sponsor, right, who sponsors Paul Miller to call random black children the N-word on Omegle and these other sites, now wants to pay Chud's bond. They now want to put up the 100,000.
Yeah, man. Now you got people trying to put up the money to bail Chud out, right? They're going to get the money to bail him out. See, they can't use that GoFundMe. They can't use none of that money. So they're going to, you know, you got different organizations and different groups of white supremacists. They're going to raise the money to get Chud out of jail. Watch and see. It's more than one way to skin a cat.
And the collateral, I would imagine, I don't think they're paying the whole $1 million upfront. I think they're paying the 100,000 plus the collateral. These people are openly bragging about working around and circumventing a judge's order. A judge. And they're just openly allowed to do this. Now, apparently, the sponsor have came forward wanting to do this. They have contacted the courts. Now, it hasn't been done. Chud is not released yet, so maybe the court is fighting back against this. Maybe the judge saying, hold on, bro, like what's the purpose of this? Because also, too, you can't bond somebody out under the premise they're going to work for you, right? Because if you guys remember, when Keefe D, the alleged killer of Tupac, when WAC 100 and others were trying to bond him out, they couldn't bond him out because his bond was contingent off he would do a documentary and turn over his life rights to this company for them to make back their money. The judge says, no, that's not allowed. So I don't think this...
I remember that. I'm like, damn, man. Like, why would WAC 100 want to bail out Keefe D? I guess you want to piss off the people that love Tupac, because why else would you bail out Keefe D? That's crazy.
Sponsorship or this company can bail out Chud and then have Chud pretty much go on their site and bring them all the clout. I don't think the judge would allow that. So I do believe there's going to be a hearing to figure out where the money is coming from. And
yeah, they're gonna do everything in their power to bail this white man out of jail. They're pulling every string that they can pull right now to get Mr. Chud up out of jail. There's no way a white man should sit in jail. That is for N-words. Jail is for N-words. No decent white man in America should have to sit in jail. Not for defending himself against one of those N-words, one of those jigaboos. There's no way that no white man deserves to sit in jail for this. White men fight back. White men fight back. White men fight back. Right? It's a terrible thing to watch a white man just sit in jail for antagonizing a black person. Us good old white men got to do something about this.
Why they're trying to bail out Chud, but this is just absurd and crazy, man. But more absurd and madness, right? Chud's team has officially written a letter to black people, all right? And by black people, I mean Daryl Davis and the Hodge twins, okay? So they have wrote a public letter to two black content, one black content creators, the Hodge twins. Like we don't claim those people. But they wrote an open letter to these black folks, and in the open letter, they are asking these black content creators to help fix Chud's public relations with black folks. You can't make this stuff up, man.
Right. How do we fix Chud's relationship with black folks? Now they want to convince us that Chud is not a racist. It's freedom of speech. He's just joking. How could Chud fix his relationship with black folks? He can't. It is impossible at this point. Make sure that you guys hit the like button and support the damn show. Sunday morning game, Sunday morning content.
Why must y'all bring us in? Leave us alone. Leave us. It's too late. You did too much, bro. Leave us alone. You not fixing nothing with us, bro. Leave us alone. In this open letter, they're asking Daryl Davis, a black man, to advocate for Chud, to come to court and advocate for Chud, use his platform to advocate for Chud, and to let the world know that Chud's bond is unfair and that Chud is being unfairly persecuted because he's a white man. They want a black man to do this for them. Okay, let's read this open letter, people. This letter is just as ridiculous as you think it is. So it goes, Mr. Davis, my name is Ricky Cisco. I'm writing because a situation is unfolding in Montgomery County, Tennessee that I believe connects directly to the principles you spent 30 years acting on successfully against all odds. A man named Dalton, the same nonsense, bro, all right? Chud is sitting on $1 million bond for attempted murder. The evidence shows self-defense. It doesn't. Now, they claim they pulled every murder and attempted murder case from Montgomery County, and not one exceeds $250,000, and the average bail is between $2,500 and $250,000. So Chud is being dealt, a raw deal, et cetera, right? Now he goes, Chud is the victim in this situation. This poor Chud is the victim. They say Chud lost his livelihood after he was targeted online and had his professional connection severed. was talking online. He didn't call a black woman and her daughter the N-word in public, though. He didn't choose to call a black woman and her daughter an N-word in public, but he's the victim. Let's continue, okay?
That's what white, listen, man, white folks are professional gaslighters. They really are. They're pretending to be victims. Do you know you got white supremacists putting these rallies, putting these rallies together across the country, sitting outside on a damn bullhorn, pretending like whites are just victims in this country. The white man is being kicked out of jobs. They're taking the white man's jobs. They're taking the white man's countries. The white man is going to be extinct. The white man is so oppressed here in the United States of America. That's the nonsense that they're selling at these rallies. And they're doing these rallies all across the country. See, while we're talking about a lot of stuff that really don't matter, it's celebrity news, so we want to talk about it. These white supremacists are organizing. They're strategizing. They're indoctrinating the next generation of white people, telling them that if they don't put it down for the white race, they're going to go extinct. That's what they mean. That's what they mean when they were saying, white men fight back, white men fight back, white men fight back. They're trying to rally up the troops. They want white people to believe that they want them to believe that they are oppressed in this country. This is why you see radicalized violence. Indoctrinating them with the ideology of white supremacy, convincing them that the white man is going to go extinct if the white man doesn't get up, to fight back. So y'all better pay attention. That's exactly what's going on, man.
Black Lives Matter followed him for a year, making sure he couldn't work over a single event. Live streaming became his only way to pay bills. His content was confrontational, and he used language that most people will call offensive. He did not walk.
They was in Cali too, in Huntington Park, Huntington Beach, Huntington Park. That's where the white boys is at. They was in Cali too. So they're doing these rallies all across the country, family. I'm just putting y'all up on game. They had one in Nashville last year. They had another one in Texas. They had a White Lives Matter rally last year. They had two. Listen, matter of fact, there was 3 White Lives Matter rallies last year. Some of you guys probably don't know about that.
Walk on eggshells around anyone. Now they're they are bragging about how he went around and called black people the N-word, and he was brave enough to do this in black people's faces, and he didn't walk on eggshells. So this is a badge of honor for him. So why are you now complaining that you got what you asked for? Now, here's the nonsense, okay? They write, here is the part that matters. Over time, something happened that your work predicts. Black people started engaging with him, not because he softened his language or performed like deference, because he didn't. He treated people as people, roughly but directly, without managing them as a demographic.
All right, let's go to Myron Gaines. Let's get on Myron Gaines' helmet real quick. We're going to go right back to Flacco because Flacco got the post. Flacco got the news. Now, this is this guy right here.
Like what? This is the lunacy of the black community.
Now, let's get into this guy right here. Now, why would black men want to hang around this guy? And it ain't just black men. A lot of black women still go to his show, too. A lot of black people in general go to his show. People that you guys consider to be tethers, they go to Fresh and Fit. Foundational Black Americans be on Fresh and Fit. And I got a question for you black men. I'll get at the women later. It's time to have a conversation with the brothers right now. What are you guys doing rocking with this bozo? Now, my thing is this. If you went on Fresh and Fit show and you challenged him on some of the things that he said about black people, I understand that. But when you pull up the fresh and fit and you're kikiing and laughing with them, it's like, what's wrong with you? What are you doing?
Bro pulled out his phone, said, should I go assault this guy right now? A question. Like, what? This is the lunacy of the black community, bro. Bro pulled out his phone, said, should I go assault this guy right now? And he has his 2 kids with him. And then it records them on camera. Bro, are you serious? Are you serious? This is the black community chat. Literally willing to risk it all for some dude saying words on the internet. So as you guys know, Chud the Builder was arrested for...
Let me educate you. Red pill content didn't start off with a bunch of Sambos. The red pill content didn't start off with a bunch of right-wing Sambos. So that's not right-wing that's not red pill content. That is Sambo content. You listen, you got Sambos in every organization, you know, but the Sambos, the right-wing Sambos, they infiltrated the Manosphere red pill spaces. So a lot of people associate red pill with Samboism, just like some people associate pro-blacks with being simps, black men who can't correct black women. So that's the stigma that follows red pill. The stigma that follows conscious black men is that they're simps. They can't lead their women. They offer no correction for the black woman's behavior. That's the stigma that follows any type of conscious black man. And is there some truth to that? Yeah, there's a whole lot of truth to the black man being a simp. He'll fight against white supremacy. He'll speak on black history. He'll glorify the accomplishments of foundational black Americans, but he's not going to hold a black woman accountable for anything. That's where the conscious black man drops the ball. The red pill guys, they say a lot of real stuff about women, teaching you to not be a simp so that you don't, get played for your damn money. So there's a lot of good game. Don't get it twisted. There's a lot of good game with some of that red pill content. You got to know what to take and what to leave out. Like, okay, that was good. That was good right there. I can't do nothing with that though. Same thing with the conscious brothers. Like, yeah, man, salute, black power, all that. You know, let's spread the history. Let's spread our history. Let's put our people up on game about our accomplishments and what we done in this country. That's a great thing. But when it comes to the women, our conscious brothers, they're going to drop the ball. They're going to make excuses for the behavior and just blame it on white supremacy. So that's where they drop the ball. My thing is this. I look at things through my own lens. I don't look at it from no red pill perspective. I don't look at it from no FBA perspective. Yes, I'm a foundational black American, but I got my own way of doing things. If I see the white man doing something, I'm definitely going to hold that accountable. When it's time to hold the black woman or the black man accountable, I'm going to do the same. That alone, that mentality alone puts me in a whole different lane.
Allegedly skipping out on a $400. Go assault this guy right now, and he has his 2 kids with him, and then it records them on camera. Bro, are you serious? Are you serious? This is the black community chat. Literally willing to risk it all for some dude saying words on the internet. So as you guys know, Chud the Builder was arrested for allegedly skipping out on a $400 restaurant bill because staff asked him to stop streaming. And obviously, you look here, if you search Chud the Builder arrested, all these are obviously all happy.
Hello.
Right? Like every single YouTuber is looking at this like super happy as you know what I mean? Like it's kind of crazy how all these black people get so mad over this. It's like, bruh, like you give it more attention, you guys get triggered, and it just like it helps them. Like you guys crying about it doesn't help at all, right? And then you got this right here who stole his hat and it said, "Come get it, black and blood." Yeah, this guy's he stole his hat, and actually, you know, I think about it.
No, let's go right here. I want y'all to hear this part right here where he goes off. He's trying to give black people a piece of his mind right here.
You guys, this real talk, like out of love. Like I'm telling y'all, that for all you guys in this chat, if you guys watch Chud the Builder and you start to get mad when he calls people, you really need to reevaluate your life. You really need to reevaluate your life, your priorities, controlling your anger, controlling your emotions, because that's something that can really bite you in the ass later. If you get that offended over words, that's very bad, bro. Very bad. Very bad. And I'm telling you guys, this is life advice. If you get offended like that over words, that could put you in jail. That could get you hit with an assault and battery charge, a deadly weapons charge, whatever the it may be. God forbid a manslaughter or murder charge because you can't control yourself. 5 seconds. You couldn't control yourself. Now you're spending 50 years. So you guys need to really reevaluate, you know, your perspective and your priorities in life. If you're watching Chud the Builder and getting mad, if you're watching losing your mind, bro, I am sorry to say it's going to be tough for you, my friend. You're going to have a very difficult time making it through life. Very difficult. You're getting mad at some dude calling someone else a name on the internet. Like, think about that. He's insulting someone on the internet and you're getting mad about that instead of taking it for what it is, which is entertainment. Anyway.
So it's entertainment. Disrespecting black people is just entertainment. Just look at it. Just look at it like entertainment. Never mind that we got a gang of Chud the Builder copycats. Oh man, it's just entertainment. Black people, stop chimping out. Stop getting angry. My thing is this: when I do videos about it, I'm not emotional about it. I'm just putting my people up on game about it. There's a big difference. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is crazy. He said that, oh man, why is Sneeko defending Chud the Builder? Well, we know why Sneeko and Myron are defending Chud the Builder.
Let's say someone punches you.
I'll put the cop hat on.
Okay.
Sure.
So there's a guy who,
and right, Myron is not black. If you look at his phenotype, Myron is a damn Arab. An Arab. Myron is an Arab. Yes, you got black people in Sudan, but you also have Arabs in Sudan. Myron is an Arab. That's exactly what he is.
just responded to me, and I reacted to some videos of his, and I reacted on Kick. We're talking about Chud the Builder. He's out of Nashville, Tennessee, or actually he's in Nashville, Tennessee. He's from Clarksville, Tennessee. And I'll give the shtick about him. Basically, he kind of like,
I know who he is.
Yeah, he goes up to people. He says, hey, listen, he believes in freedom of speech, but then he kind of goes, kind of almost like, you know, a little bit antagonizing, and he'll say the N-word, this and third. Now, wherever people fall on that is whatever, but what I've seen with that is that it's borderline really antagonistic. And I responded to it and I said, listen, you know what? What's going to happen here is because there's something about how he's doing it. It's not just the word, right? You know, like there's some people who actually believe that the
black men, we got to do better. We got to do better as black men because we pick and choose who's cool and who's not. And a lot of black men, well, maybe they didn't know that. What they're going to say is, well, we didn't know Myron was a Sambo. A lot of you guys co-signed Myron. Let me say this to my FBA brothers. Some of us co-signed Myron. Now he's way out of control. He infiltrated black culture, FBA culture, and now he's going around disrespecting us every chance he gets. He said that black people are idiots, they're broke, they're primates, they're monkeys. They live in a ghetto, they got a low IQ, they're savages. This is why no one wants to deal with them. This is why everyone has black fatigue. These are the talking points of Myron Gaines. And the sad part about it is you still got black men who hang with him. They're still hanging with him.
Words should not be. Okay. That's not what we're arguing.
Hanging with him.
It's the way he's doing it. Some people, well, not some people, most people feel like it's really antagonizing. Anyway, that's not even the conversation. He responded to a video that I said, what's going to happen is this. You've gotten so many people in the black community feeling a way, right, about how you operate, that even if someone swings on you and assaults you, when that person gets out, he's going to have like $100,000 on a GoFundMe. And we'll be able to agree.
All right, let's get to what Myron Gaines had to say. We hear you, buddy.
In someone getting shot in the face. Nashville, Tennessee. Law enforcement realm.
And if I'm pepper sprayed, I'm cooked. For days, I couldn't see. I was burning for days. Even when I was showering, I couldn't get it out of my eyes. I had blur. It was blurry. So I know personally that if someone tries to pepper spray me, I will not be able to, I'm going to be incapacitated 1,000% for days. So now so when I, if I use lethal force, I'm able to articulate why, right? Because I know that if someone pepper sprays me, I'm cooked and I cannot defend myself. I'm incapacitated. Now my life is in danger, right? Everyone is different, right? If a woman, right? Let's say, I'll give you a perfect example. If someone punches a woman versus someone punches a man, right? Someone punches me versus someone punches a woman's going to be able to escalate the use of force ladder way faster than me because she's going to argue, well, it's a man. He punched me and he almost knocked me out. I couldn't afford to take another punch. I grabbed my gun and I shot him. Now with me, right? Let's say the person is like, smaller than me or whatever and punches me. Like, can I articulate and be like, oh yeah, I shot him because, I felt like there was a danger to my life, whatever. Sure, but it's not going to be as strong as like a small woman saying, oh, I got punched. So the point I'm trying to make here is like use of force is almost always contingent upon the individual who is using the force. And then it's never based on 20/20 hindsight. It's based on what are the facts known to that individual at the time that the use of force was done on them. This is why, like, if someone like pulls out a plastic gun and you shoot and kill them, and then you find out after the fact that the gun was plastic, the shoot is still valid because at that time, with all the rapidly evolving facts, you didn't know. You thought it was a gun. And what would a reasonable person believe? And that's the most important thing. What would a reasonable person believe given all the facts and circumstances? A reasonable person would believe, yo, it is a real gun, and they shoot.
Okay, so let me ask you again, because this is the basis of like this conversation. What I think is going to happen with this Chud the Builder guy is that someone is going to assault him. They're going to punch him, right? Somebody sees you, you're jogging, whatever, you're jogging through a park. It'd be like they see you.
Depending on the situation.
Oh, okay.
Because the thing is, man, every use of force situation is so different. And then it's based on what was known to the individual at the time. Let's say it's nighttime. It's early morning, right? I'm running. I could say like, and he hits me. Well, I can't see his hands. I don't know what happened. He just came up on me. It's nighttime, etc. That changes the pattern of facts significantly. So, was there anyone else with him? Was there someone else in another car and they were saying some things? Did he say, I'm going to kill you? Did he say, I'm going to knock you out, blah, blah, whatever? All of these different factors, like, and this is why use of force is so tricky because it depends on all the different multitude of factors that came in that led you to, that use of force. Some idiot in your chat said something about, pepper spray doesn't, you can't be met with lethal force. It absolutely can. Pull out pepper spray on a cop and see what happens, dumbass. Some niggas are stupid in your chat, bro. No offense. Like, pull out pepper spray on a cop and see what happens. You're gonna get shot. 100%.
Wait.
That's a police officer, though. That's a police officer. Now, if somebody pulled out pepper spray on you as a black person, you shot them, you're not getting away with it. Even, let's say you pull out, let's use this scenario right here. Let's say the dude that Chud the Builder shot pulled out pepper spray and pepper sprayed Chud the Builder, and Chud the Builder turned around and shot it. Could he get away with it? Possibly, because Chud is white. Possibly because Chud is a white man. So we already know when it comes to a white person being the victim, it's going to be looked at different. Now, but just imagine that. If the black dude, let's say Chud the Builder was antagonizing him, right? And he pulled out his pepper spray and sprayed Chud. Chud whips out the blicky and shoots old boy. Would it be justified? Like I said, maybe so, because Chud is white. But then again, you just never know. But if let's say Chud the Builder pepper sprays the black guy whips out a gun and shoots Chud the Builder, he's going to be in some serious trouble. Oh, he's going to be in some serious trouble. I think we know that. I think we know this.
You believe law enforcement would use, they would shoot someone who was trying to pepper spray?
Bro, if you pull out pepper spray,
make the likes make sense, man. We got a bunch of goofies hating on this game. They've been hating on the game a whole lot lately. But what y'all need to do is get those likes up for me because the content is solid. Most definitely is worthy of hitting that damn like button. Let's get it.
Cop, you're dead. I'm telling you right now, you're dead.
Okay,
we know what happens with police officers. We know police officers get away with it. Even white supremacists who are not white, even white people who are not police officers, white people who don't work for law enforcement. If the black dude, listen, if Chud the Builder pepper sprayed the black dude and he turned around and shot Chud because of it, that black dude would be in jail, facing murder or attempt murder charges. I promise you.
Are going to get shot. And I'll tell you why. Because every cop gets pepper sprayed in the academy, and ask anyone in here that's law enforcement. Almost every police academy forces you to get pepper sprayed and definitely tased, especially if you carry a taser. If you pull out pepper spray on a cop, you're gonna get shot 100%, because people need to understand when it comes to police officers, they elevate to a level above the force that's being used against them. So if you go ahead and you like punch a cop or whatever, right? Or you have like your hands, whatever, depending on the situation, they're gonna pull out a taser, they're gonna pull out a baton, they're gonna use numbers. They're always
we already know how that situation is gonna play out with a police officer. We get it. You know, I've seen people get shot for nothing dealing with police officers. You know how many black men that was unarmed that got shot by police officers? So in some cases, you don't even need pepper spray. He'll just say, I feared for my life, so I shot him. And the whole time the black man was unarmed. So miss me with that nonsense.
Going to make it where there's a saying, you go home no matter what. That's what every single police department teaches you. This is what every federal agency teaches you. You go home no matter what. You win every single fight. If that means you beat his ass with a baton, if that means you tase him, if that means you pepper spray him, if it means it's 70 y'all niggas and you whoop his ass, you're gonna go home. That's what they teach you. That's why they're so aggressive if you ever show any type of force against them. So if you try to squabble up, they're gonna tase or shoot you. If you try to pull out OC, you're 1000% gonna get shot. That's why some people in your chat are retarded. I know offense, some of y'all niggas are stupid and need to just shut up. If you pull out pepper spray, you're gonna get shot by the police. 100%.
We understand that. I just told you several of black men that was unarmed got shot by the police. So of course we know that. We don't need some Arab to tell us how we get treated in our own community. We see it for ourselves all the time, way before it hits the media. There's been several black men in Los Angeles shot that was unarmed. Same for New York City. Same for many other cities across the country. Unarmed black man gets shot by the police. You don't need no damn pepper spray.
So you're gonna get shot. So I was thinking that maybe you would probably get shot because a police officer has lethal weapons on their person, and if they become incapacitated, you could probably use those weapons to not only kill them but kill other people. So they need to, number one, when you pull out anything, make sure that they're still vigilant and still within, whatever. So
shout out to Noble for the Cash App. Shout out to Trenton for the Cash App. Shout out to my man Jason for the Cash App. Let's get some of you brothers to show some love to the show, man. We only got 3 people on the Cash App. What's up with that, man? Bless the like buttons. But yeah, man, black people have been shot for less. Black people who are unarmed. Black people who was unarmed. So nah, bro, we don't need no pepper spray to get shot. We understand that we can be shot just being unarmed. The police officer was in fear of his life. Dealing with an unarmed black person. It happens all the time. I got several stories.
Sure. Because they have the right to be the aggressor. So I understand what you're, yes.
That would be my thought.
Yeah. Because they have the right to be the aggressor. But also, well, as a private civilian, if you got a gun on you and someone knocks you out, you can also articulate that you're incapacitated. They can take your gun from you and kill you. Same situation. The only thing with the cops is cops have no duty to retreat. That's the big one. Like police have absolutely no duty to retreat. So like when I was debating the Renee Good one and the Alex Pretty shit, people were like, yo, they don't have to do that, blah, blah. Police have zero duty to retreat.
Wait. Could you give us a little bit? Is that the person that ICE killed?
Yeah, those are the 2 ICE ones. And I debated this on college campuses too. And they got all mad and shit like that. But like I was trying to explain to them, like when it comes to police get an extra layer of protection because they have no duty to retreat when if they're conducting lawful enforcement. Because in order for them to conduct their job, they can't retreat, right? Does that make sense? So like they have to be the aggressor a lot of the times to take you into custody if they have, probable cause or, some type of legal basis to be dealing with you in the first place. So when it comes to Renee Good, right, that's the girl that he shot through the windshield, if you remember.
Yeah.
Like her, she was there obstructing them from trying to get through. That's why she had her car in the street or whatever. They were doing an immigration enforcement operation.
Yeah.
She was there blocking them off.
That was in Minnesota, right?
That was, yeah, in Minneapolis. Exactly. And they told her, yo, move. She didn't want to move. They warned her twice. And then that's when they're like, all right, well, we're going to get you out. And then when they tried to arrest her because she had been committing a crime, 18 U.S.C. 111, which is assault or impeding a federal law enforcement officer, right? Then she drove the car towards him. He had every right to shoot her because it's like, yo, that's a deadly weapon. And they were lawfully there.
So do you guys agree with that? Do you agree with the white, the police officers having a right to shoot that? What's her name? Renee Good? Anyway, I don't want to talk about that. That's a whole nother situation. But I guess we're talking about using lethal force, I guess.
And she was impeding them. And it is what it is. It's a clean shoot. That's why he hasn't been indicted. And I know a lot of progressives get mad about that shit. But police have absolutely zero duty to retreat when they're, acting within the confinements of their authority.
All right.
Alex Hardy, he got shot. That was the guy that had the gun on his person. People got mad because the gun that discharged, it got discharged because it had an accidental discharge and went off, if you remember. And it wasn't even the Alex Hardy that shot it. One of the Border Patrol agents took the gun off. And I think at the time, you're trying to take somebody down. You hear a gun. Then you hear a gun go off. Yeah, they're gonna shoot him, even though it was an accidental discharge, because the people that shot him had a reasonable belief that it might have been the perpetrator that shot the gun because he was reaching like this the whole time. The guys that shot him, people forget this shit. When he got shot, Alex Preddy, he got shot from his left side, right? His gun was on his right-hand side. So the cops that were above him over here on the left-hand side, all they saw was this, right? Now, again, they can't see. They know he's right-handed, and they see that. Then they heard gun. So when they saw him doing this, even though the gun was off his person, and they heard the gunshot, they shot him. And that obviously, it's a rapidly evolving event or whatever. That's why they were cleared.
Wow.
Yeah, hey man, they're gonna look for any loophole. They're gonna look for any loophole to exonerate a white man of all charges, right? That's just the reality of it. Look at the situation. Look at the situation right now. They're pulling every string that they can pull to get this white boy up out of jail. Once they found out that he can't use the GoFundMe money for bail. Hit the like button.
And doing what a lot of people in America wish they can do.
Chud the Builder is doing what a lot of people in America wish they can do. Is tell you Negroes off to your face, call you a million monkeys.
Chud the Builder is saying and doing what a lot of people in America wish they can do. Chud the Builder is saying and doing what a lot of people in America wish they can do.
Guys, it finally happened. Chud the Builder, well...
Chud the Builder is being charged with attempted murder after the shooting.
Wish they can
Nobody really can defend what he was doing. Except, well...
Chud the Builder is saying and doing what a lot of people in America wish they can do. That's tough. I get it. Some of y'all don't like to hear that. Some of you guys are mad about that. But there's a reason why he's had a meteoric rise over the past year. People are tired of this, bro.
So somehow, some way.
So people are, they're tired of blacks. So with that being said, that gives Chud the Builder the right to antagonize and say whatever he wants because everyone is sick of black people. Everyone has black fatigue. So that justifies the actions of Chud the Builder. Words of Myron Gaines.
No one wants to get on Spirit Airlines.
With this.
No one wants to live around y'all. No one wants to go to Atlanta. No one wants to get on Spirit Airlines. No one wants to get on any budget airline and deal with fuckers. Nobody wants to go into a gas station where they say we accept EBT and SNAP. Nobody wants to date because they're fat and loud. The average 187 pounds.
So again, he goes with the obvious talking points. Nobody wants to be around you. They don't want to go to the stores that blacks are at. Black, overweight. And the reason why Chud the Builder is blowing up is because people are tired of you as blacks. Now, I want to deal with that point because it's important. If people are really tired of you, if you're black, then why would they do this?
You following me to my truck now?
He said everyone is sick of black, so that gives Chud the reason that justifies Chud's actions. It justifies Chud's actions.
In his hate speech. The one thing that I don't really like about a lot of people on the right, especially some of the blacks on the alt-right, which is anything that happens, they claim white supremacy, Alabama and rural America, and they claim white supremacy and things like that. But these guys go out there and they make mistakes. And the lower class whites, such as in my opinion, which you may consider Chud the Builder may be in that financial class, they're a sore thumb, well, for Republicans, for the conservative movement. When you're telling blacks what they got to lose, then you have a guy like Chud the Builder who even...
All right, so let's go right here. Yeah, he said that justifies the actions.
Myron is getting some heavy backlash right now for seemingly defending and sticking up for Chud. Myron said a lot that pissed off a lot of people. Now, one of the things that Myron said that really had people upset and pissed was when Myron centered the feelings of white racists in a conversation about black people being victimized.
Chud the Builder is saying and doing what a lot of people in America wish they can. That's tough. I get it. Some of you like to hear that. Some of you guys are mad about that. But there's a reason why he's had a meteoric rise over the past year. People are tired of. Do I got to be the one? We're tired of you, chimpanzee, orangutan, ape. We're tired of y'all, man. No one wants to live around y'all. No one wants to go to Atlanta. No one wants to get on Spirit Airlines. No one wants to get on any budget airline and deal with you. Nobody wants to go into a gas station where they say we accept EBT and SNAP. Nobody wants to date black women because they're fat and loud. The average black woman's 187 pounds. Like, do I got to offer you dumbass? You can't read ABC 1, 2, 3. Nobody wants to be around you monkeys. Sorry. And honestly, if you get offended too bad, you're probably the monkey.
This is a conversation about a racist white man going up to random black people in public, calling them the N-word unprovoked for no reason whatsoever outside of he wanted to hurt black people. In a conversation about somebody looking to hurt black people, we're not discussing how black people feel about this, how traumatic this could be towards black people, how traumatic the experience was for that woman and her little kids in the grocery store.
I'm saying,
like, what could
hit the like button if you haven't already. See, I'm showing you guys this to, you know, a lot of people already know about Myron, but this is crazy. Now, the fact that you got black men who still want to be friends with him is just crazy. Now, that doesn't represent the majority of black men, because I truly believe the majority of black men ain't rocking with Myron, but you still have a few of us who do. So to all you black men who still rock with Myron, I got to put y'all on blast for this, man. I got to put you guys on blast. Myron has done way too much. At some point, you got to take a stand and let people know this behavior will not be tolerated, not from our people.
Most innocent black people have done for Chud not to call them the N-word with the hard R.
Because I'll tell you this, the black people that are intelligent aren't going to be offended by what I'm saying. They know what I'm saying is true. There's a reason why dark Dominican sit there and say, I know black, Bobby. There's a reason why dark Puerto Rican know that. I know black, Bobby. There's a reason why African, I know black. You guys have a bad reputation. You guys have bad stereotypes that follow you. And unfortunately, a lot of you adhere to the stereotypes. Whether it's Waka Flocka tripping out over Jake Paul agreeing that there's a problem or he wants to be able to do blackface because Drewski can openly do white face.
The next thing that people were really pissed off at Myron for,
I'm gonna bring street media up in 2 more minutes.
Don't have much to do with what he said per se, but what he platformed. Now, he brought on this defense attorney to tell us how innocent Chud is and how Chud can beat us, which is fine. He's an attorney, he's a lawyer, that's his right. But he starts off the conversation with black folks' name in his mouth. Now, he starts off by trying to make this comparison between bonds that black dudes get and Chud's bond, as if like black people get some type of preferential treatment from the justice system.
And we know that's not true. We've never got preferential treatment from the justice system. Never. Like if you go back to the 90s, maybe the late 80s, even the 90s, a white boy gets caught with cocaine in the suburbs. A black man gets caught with cocaine in the inner city. Crack cocaine. Crack is the cheapest form of cocaine, right? But what they started doing was they started giving us football numbers or double-digit numbers for like 10 grams of crack cocaine. The white boy gets caught with a couple of ounces of powder in the suburbs. He gets 6 months or maybe some probation. So if you study the history, especially when you look at these drug crimes, Black men have served way more prison time for the same crimes that white men commit. So I don't know where. See, this is what I'm saying. A lot of these white people they're liars. They're gaslighters. They'll flip it. They'll spin the narrative and paint themselves as victims. It's kind of like these white supremacists who are running around the country saying that the white man is being oppressed. They're taking jobs away from the white man. They're kicking the white man up out of his own country. The white man is going to become a minority in his own country that he built. This is the nonsense that these white supremacists are spreading all throughout social media, having rallies in different cities across the country. This is crazy. I'm going to bring up street media right after this.
Chud got it tough. If you're starting off an argument for Chud by making a premise that black people are treated fairly or even privileged by the justice system, you're out of your mind. And that's just, there's nothing but empirical data and evidence to prove that black people are not given privileges by the justice system, that black people are unfairly persecuted disproportionately.
So he got a $1.25 million bail. I know he has a GoFundMe. I think he has enough to probably post the bail because I think he's got to post 10% or whatever.
I doubt it.
Well, sorry.
No, it's going to be it'll be more than so. A normal bail, you're right, it's 10%. But when the exposure for the bail bondsman is this high, they want 10% as their fee. Yeah, and then they want collateral for the rest.
Gotcha.
So
put up a house.
They won't take your house, but they'll ask you to put up your house. Right?
Gotcha. So okay, so
By the way, this is not an insane. I mean, it's a very high bond. I've seen it before in murder cases, attempted murder cases. I know one of the gripe that's in the community is that they see black suspects commit worse crimes, not attempted murder, but literally murder, literally assassination, and get like a $200,000 bail. That's one of the legitimate grievances I talked about at the start of our show today. This is a real concern. This should not be happening.
This conversation is rooted in racism.
Okay, let's be real. White crimes are rooted around racism, especially like a lot of these crimes are. It's rooted in racism. Like if you look at Nashville, I played the video last week. I showed you how the Nazis and white supremacists was marching in Nashville. Chud is from Nashville. So you see the connection. And another thing is this: when a black person commits a crime, now they got to psychoanalyze the whole black community. They don't hold that white man they don't hold that black man accountable as an individual. They're going to demonize the whole black community. They're going to say blacks are violent. This is black culture. This is what black men do. This is common behavior for black people. But when a white man commits a crime, he harms someone, you know what they say? He was mentally ill. He was a lone wolf. This is no reflection of the white community. This guy was a lone wolf. He was crazy. White people hold him accountable as an individual, and they separate the white community from this one individual who just committed this heinous crime. So they'll isolate him as an individual and say the white community has no responsibility. This is no reflection of whites. He was just crazy. He didn't take his medication. That's how they paint the picture when a white man commits a heinous crime. Black man does it. They got to psychoanalyze the whole community. Blacks are violent. They're ignorant. They're uneducated. He's violent because he was raised by a single mother. The ghetto promotes this culture. Oh, the black community is so terrible. Oh, black men are just so violent. Instead of them holding that one person accountable, they'll psychoanalyze the whole community. Let me bring up street media, man. Street media gonna cook on this one. I know street media gonna cook on this topic, man. Street media, my brother.
Hey, before I start, I got my share screen. Click on that. I want you to see this.
I don't know. I can't hear you, brother. Let me see. I don't know if it's on my end or yours. I don't know. I don't know if I can hear you. Hold on.
You hear me? Yeah, I'm unmuted and everything.
All right, let me fix something. Let me see.
Y'all can hear me in the chat, right?
Say something again.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah. Hey, share my screen real quick. I want you to see this. We're going to expose Myron once and for all.
All right. I got
you. Click. It ain't come up yet. You got to click on it.
Okay. Okay, I got it. Let me see. Let me click it. Hold on. Hold on. Let me see what it say.
You just gotta click on the image there. You probably see it next to me. You can see what I'm trying to share. You gotta click on that.
It keeps saying remove the other. Let me see again. It won't let me add it before pressing. Let me see. Remove the other strings from. Hold on. They're not letting me in. I don't know why they're not letting me post it. I'll keep clicking it. They said I gotta remove something before I can post it. Like, what the hell?
Damn, I want y'all to see this, man.
Damn, you might probably got to do a video about the street. For some reason, they telling me I gotta take down other screens and I can't show it. That's weird, but I don't know why they won't let me do it. Let me see. We try it again.
Yeah, usually it'll come right, it'll pop right up. If you
All right. Let me see if I remove this one. If they'll let that one pop up. Hold on 1 second. Let me see if I remove this one. What they let me add it to this day. Go ahead. There you go.
Yeah, there we go. All right, look. Now Myron, he likes to be the best. He likes to be the mascot for W supremacy, right? But he would go just like Tommy Sotomayor. He would go into those spaces and try to sit down with them and kick it with them. Because remember, there's a lot of W folks that don't agree with what Chud is doing. I got a video coming out today when he was in Nashville. They was them W folks was telling him to get the hell. They was cussing him out, telling him to get out of here. They was going ham on him, right? They chased him out from in front of a restaurant or something. It's a bunch of W folks, right? So he likes to go into these spaces, man, and try to sit down and kick it with them. And they constantly doing him like this.
Can I make this interesting real quick? Myron, you were in my space the other day, and I said, you're doing a great job calling these. If we take this country back, we want it for white folks. And would you go home? And you said, I was born here and I'm not going anywhere. And this is where I think the problem is with working with non-whites is that once you think you help us, that you're just going to stay in our country. Do you still stand with that answer?
Bro, you look, man, I know you're trying to get a clippable moment here for your.
No, it's the truth, man. This is the issue with whites working with non-whites.
We're over here talking about a problem, then you bring it right back into this whole white thing. Like
this whole white thing is what built this country, Myron. Hey, man, you said I am in Florida. I'm in Florida, and I will knock you out on camera.
All right, I'm not gonna have violence in this space. It's not even my space. I think Ian's having issues, so look, I'm not gonna allow that in Ian's space.
It's mutual combat.
I understand, but listen, people are listening.
There is no mutual combat. I don't know what you, bro.
Well then, why are you in? Why do you Browns think you could stay in my country? No, it's the truth. You didn't build this country, Myron. You're not from this country. Why do you think you can stay?
Anyway,
no, it's a point.
Hold on. One more in this video, because the thing is, he says real disrespectful stuff about black people, right? Hold on, where is that? But they're constantly getting at him,
And then we got this naturalization here. Like, bro, or you're with the standard guy. Yo, you're British, right?
Bro, you don't know you.
Yeah.
Hey, Myron, you're in a hostile area,
and I'm not scared to have conversation with you guys. Because I'm not
okay, well,
you're gonna have to either kick me out or whatever.
You're not gonna have a conversation with him. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, well, so whatever. British guy, dude, I know you're mad about 1776.
Black men are most likely to other black men.
There was too much cuss words in it, so they was blocking it out. But
yeah,
I showed all that to say that he's like their number one mascot. He's raising his hand saying, "Hey, I'll be your Huckleberry," and they're telling him constantly, like, "Dude, we don't accept." You heard what the dude say? He said, "Listen, man, I mean, I understand what you're doing and all, but man, you got the skedaddle, you got the roll. I don't know why you Browns think you get comfortable." They telling him this, and this is the thing. He's fighting for them.
Yeah,
for them. They don't even want him. That's how you know this guy's an idiot. Like, and I posted that video last night showing everybody, because I've been showing this. They've been telling him this, man. They've been telling him, you ain't like they was calling him. They said he's worse than the American nigga.
Yeah, they did.
Saying niggas, like, we don't mess with you. You're not even American. They told him, they said, one guy said, at least the black American got some equity in this country. You ain't got none.
hey, the street man, this is how you know he can't possibly think that these people are his friends. So he's definitely doing it strictly for the money and clout. It got to be for the money and clout, because those people don't like you like that. They say we'll use you to go against the Negro, but we want you out of here too.
But this is where, like, I just got finished doing a video on Roland Martin and them and the Democrats, and not to change the subject, but I'll say this because to make the point.
Right.
They asking the kids, black boys, not black girls. Remember, they have black girls rock, black girls magic, black girls this, black girls that. We know when the NAACP is asking these black athletes to not go to these SEC schools, right? They're talking about black boys because the black boys is what generate the money, right? So you're asking black boys, don't go play basketball, don't go play football, don't go play baseball, right? Go to these other schools, right? When you could have used this same leverage, 34, let's just say 1980s, during the crack era, you could have did the same thing. Hey, don't go to these SEC schools and these Big 10 schools and Big 12 schools, right? We're going to bring that money back and we're going to get an anti-lynching bill passed and we're going to pass the John Lewis bill. We're going to get these bills passed because if y'all don't want to do that, we're going to shut down your economics. How we going to do it? We're not sending our sons to y'all schools, right? Now, if you'd have did that, Myron wouldn't be able to come over here and do this. Myron wouldn't be able to talk like this. A lot of conversations we wouldn't have. So what I'm saying is Myron is not the problem. It's these sellout niggas. That's the problem because they don't want to the way that when they run for office, the way that they lobby to these corporate structures that give money, they don't want to rock the boat. So they'll come out here and blame us and allow all this stuff to happen, but they're not fighting to get things passed. You could have been had that John Lewis bill passed. You could have been had an anti-lynching bill. You could have even been had reparations in certain states for black Americans. Had you just said, hey, we're not sending our boys to go play. Bro, you know how fast, remember they had the situation in Mississippi when they with the Confederacy on the flag and those black players said they weren't going to play. Within 10 days, they removed that shit because they understood the money. So you could have been did this. But I want the foundational black American people to understand one thing. The reason why they won't do it, because the way the campaign funds come through and they get money, the corporations don't give a damn who's in office. They're going to win regardless because they got the money. They give the money to whoever. So it's not, they're bipartisan. It's not, they don't give a damn about Republican or Democrat when you're a billionaire. You move the purse strings. So they sold you out to the corporations, bro. That's what they've done. Now, all of a sudden, he cut that NGO money. They want to come back and ask the kids the same way James Bevel did in the 60s when he got Dr. King to allow the kids to join the civil rights movement. They want these kids to join the movement, but these black boys don't have no connection to the Democratic Party. So what I'm saying all that to say, to connect it back to Myron, Myron is a direct reflection of the democratic failures within the black community. Because if we had protection, he wouldn't be able to talk like that. You notice he can't talk like that about the protected class. He can't talk like that about the Skittles crew in the manner in which he's talking, because they got protections. Anybody can say anything about us, and we supposed to just take it.
Yeah. You see how he made that long video saying we should just take it on the chin, not say anything about it. But when you don't say anything about it, it gets worse. Look at all these Chud the Builder copycats now.
Yes, because we've been sold out. They could have what the NAACP is asking black boys to do while y'all was going around saying black girls magic. And I'm not saying that young girls don't deserve nothing, because our sisters deserve everything that they get the same way we do. I ain't pro black man or pro black woman. I'm pro black people. So my daughter just deserves just as much as my son do. But when you want to turn around and use black boys for leverage, when you didn't have nothing set up for black boys, how you expect it to have the same spirit as the goddamn 63 movement? It's not going to have the same spirit, because black boys looking around like, help who, help what? We're in an era now where you telling black boys not even to be with black women, and you want them to say the community? Man, you crazy. Like what? So I'm saying all that to say that it's always going to be Myron Gaines and Tommy Sotomayor's and these W supremacists and all this kind of stuff, because we didn't use our leverage. We could have, all those black boys. That's first of all, remember this, Red. When you deal with those SEC schools, Alabama, Mississippi, Texas, do you understand the TV revenue every year that they get? Those schools, the advertisement. So just imagine if we'd have told in 1986, we'd have said, listen, We sending all of our blue chip players to HBCUs, and we're gonna bring all that advertising money back to the black community. We're gonna bring all that that $1 billion TV revenue money is coming back to the black colleges. The endowments would have went up. Black pride would have went up. Right? We'd have had so much more, but they sold out to the corporations because the corporations promised black people seats and jobs. So they went along with what the corporate structure in America wanted, and they sold us out. So now the question is asking for when you have, see, all this go together. When you have something like a Chud the Builder, and then an Arab foreigner talking the way he's talking about black Americans, the question that I'm asking that nobody's answering is, who falls on the sword for this? Who gets the blame? See, because if you was the CEO of a company and you went away and you came back and you saw your black business like this, you hands would roll. You would want to know, well, wait a minute. This ain't the way Dr. King and my grandparents left it. What the hell happened in the last 50 years? I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
That's a good point.
So we gotta look beyond, we gotta look at Myron, but look why there's a Myron. And so now going forward as FBA, how do we clean it up? You have to call out these black folks now that want black boys to give up their livelihood to save their seats. When they was in those seats, they didn't do anything to ingratiate themselves to young black boys, to make black boys feel accepted. So you're going to continue to have Myrons all over the place because they don't feel as though they feel like they can come in your house and treat you any kind of way you want because the people that's running the house don't respect it.
Yeah, don't respect it. And I said this. I said, well, damn, I was seeing black men still going to show. Now I can see if they went over there to confront him and ask him about the disrespect of FBA, but they going over there laughing with him. Oh, so I'm thinking like, come on, brothers, like, what's up, man? But if you talk about Sudanese, you know what I'm saying, and I'm gonna pass it to you. If you guys talk bad about Sudanese people every day, do you think Myron would be your friend? I don't think he would. Right, I don't really think he would if you went out of your way to talk about his people. He goes out of his way to, anytime somebody white does something to somebody black, he goes out of his way to justify it. Go ahead, Street Media.
Well, see, like Iceberg saying that's a different combo, but this is how stupid some of our men are. Not all, but a lot of our men are. We don't have any racial integrity anymore or pride, and it's not our fault. We haven't been trained or taught to have any racial integrity and pride. This is why you have a Myron. With everything I'm saying is directly connected to a Myron. And I'm gonna prove my point. You know how I read, like you out there in LA, when you go out in the county to the white neighborhood, right? And you way out in the white neighborhood, you know not to throw shit out the window. You start behaving a certain way because you already know them police out there ain't gonna play with your black ass, right? They got strict rules and how they moving, right? Mm-hmm. How come when these groups don't come into our neighborhood in our house, they don't move that same way? Because we haven't. When I was in the juvenile lockup back in the day, they had a thing called they didn't go by rules, they went by norms. Norms was expected behavior of the group. And when you broke that behavior, you had to deal with everybody, right? The problem that you have is what I'm trying to say is all connected, and why I brought this up. Myron's is a direct reflection of the failures within our communities, man. And this is why you have FBA starting to delineate, to separate. But we have to educate ourselves as to why this stuff is happening. So all I'm saying is we need somebody said we need allies. No, we need more than allies. We need to ally with each other.
And I'm gonna add to this. I hear what you're saying. You're 100% correct. See, we never set the example that when you come in our house, you take your damn shoes off. We've allowed people to come in our house, spitting on the floor, leaving trash everywhere, just doing whatever they want, because we never set the example on how to take your damn shoes off in this house or you won't be allowed in. We need to set that example.
And they know it. So that's what I'm saying. Because see, what happens is we've been trained to deal with the trauma that's happening. Like if somebody gets shot, when a detective comes and he lands on the ground, he asks what happened, but then he goes backwards to go forward. He goes all the way backwards to before the shooting happened. Who had the gun? He do a thorough investigation. So when I see a Myron, I want to know why there's a Myron. So then what I do is I go back to my people and I say, well, how did we drop the ball? And now so we got these Myrons. Who's in charge here? So when you start looking at who's in charge here, you start seeing the failures that they had. because of the failures is why you have Myrons. So, and this is part I'm trying to tell you. So now when you see them saying, hey, we've been redistricted and they're taking away black voices, and I'm like, well, there was a white man that was running the 9th district in Tennessee, in Memphis. That was a Jew, and then down there in Mississippi. So you mean to tell me we losing black voices? No, we never had a voice, and now you want black boys to save you. So all I'm saying is we got to look at everything in the 360 when it comes to us, not just a 180, not just what you see. It's the totality of everything. Because if we go back to the beginning and we fix that, then you can eradicate the Myrons and even the Tommy Sotomayor's. The reason why you got the Tommy Sotomayor's and the Myrons, because we've lost black pride.
Yeah,
we lost black pride, bro.
Yeah,
like, and black pride ain't just saying, well, you call me a nigga. No, black pride is cleaning up in front of your house.
Yeah, we've been conditioned. Hey, man, like you said, it's conditioning. We didn't get like this overnight. Like, it's conditioning. So like you say, you got to go back to the root. You got to go back to the foundation to build a solid foundation. And then once you build that solid foundation, things like this won't happen. We won't have a Myron. Sambos would know that they can't disrespect us and still get paid. But right now, the house is shaky. The foundation ain't solid, so they can get away with pretty much damn near anything.
Everything. And somebody said, man, we have Myron since the beginning of time. What that got to do with us? See, this is what I'm trying to say. The way that we think in our minds, and that's no diss to that brother, but just think about it, Red. When you walk outside and you go in the store, and every corner store, none of them are black. Nothing that's essential. Nothing in your community is essential to your growth and development. You got to go outside of your people to get everything that you need. How do you expect the people to respect their own people when they don't rely on them for anything? This is capitalism 101 on how to break a people. So they broke us. So we so messed up. I call it the Freddy Krueger effect. We can't even see ourselves outside of the situation that we're in. Because the minute you go to dream, Freddy is there to kill you. You can't even dream. Because you're so stuck in the trauma of where you at. And guess what? These immigrants come here and know that, and they infiltrate on it, and they play to it. They know it. So they say, you don't have a culture. Man, you niggas is lazy. Or it's easy for them to do that because they see the way a lot of our mindsets are. So yeah, there's always been a lot of Myrons, but what the hell does that got to do with us setting up parameters where he can't come bother us? What that got to do with us?
It's conditioning and programming, and like I'm gonna bring up a little thing that used to happen in prison. It's like, man, you talking about prison? No, it has something to do with blackness, and I'm gonna show you our division and how people play on the fact that we're divided. Now, the Mexican mafia and the Serrano Southsiders, they used to do this back in, like, way back in the day. If they got into it with the Bloods, they'll go to the Crips. Hey, man, we ain't got no problem with y'all. We just want to get these Bloods. They ain't got nothing to do with y'all. And by the Bloods and Crips already beefing, well, shit, that's on y'all. Not realizing all the Mexicans are together, but they're attacking us. But before they attack us, they make sure that we're separated before they make their attack, because that weakens us. So by the time they attack the Bloods, they going to slaughter them because the Crips ain't got their back. So they can isolate one group of black people and just annihilate them. Now you see how the Mexican mafia played on our division and separation.
Yeah, and they do it, and what they're doing it to us right now politically.
Yeah,
because you didn't have a unified front of the children, so now you hear them say, "Well, they redistricting us." Well, the thing is, when you had that Shelby case back in 2013, 14, you could have did this then. You could have mobilized the children that bring the money. You could have mobilized them then to get that passed. You could have said, "Oh, y'all don't want to pass that bill? We shutting down college football." They'd have passed that shit quick, but they didn't do it. They prioritized immigrants over black people. So the gist of what I'm saying is, when we see Myron and all them is the low hanging fruit. The Myrons and them are a byproduct of our failures as a group. That's the byproduct of it. So when we see the Asians get a hate crime bill, you know why? They numbers are getting larger and they stick together. All Asians don't get along, but in America, they're Asian. The Asian bloc with money, and they lobby money to the corporate structure to get things passed on their behalf. So the thing is, with us, we are the economy. All we had to do was say, man, listen, I'm chilling, but I'm gonna land here. I'm telling my people, man, back in the 80s, during the crack era, when they was burning our communities up, man, in California, from AC to KC, Nebraska to Alaska. They was destroying our communities. All the black clergy had to do was say, we ain't playing football, college football, the NFL. We know what y'all doing. We ain't playing. That shit would have stopped overnight. Because if they're telling you to use this strategy now, they could have did that shit 40 years ago. And they didn't, because they understood that America had their economy. And they was building an economy based off of you, and they sold you out for seats. They sold you out for seats. Do not let them come in and tell you anything different. If they asking you to do this blueprint now, they could have did it during the goddamn crack era, and they chose not to. And that's not to shade every black elder, that because it was some black elders that was on the ground doing work, but they was outnumbered by the sellouts.
Yeah, they was outnumbered by the sellouts, and they always get us through money. But we don't see the bigger picture. We would have got way more staying on code. And we say, listen, because sports plays a major role. I think sports is one of the biggest cash cows for the United States. And
it's the biggest. NFL is the biggest cash cow in all of sports. But I need our people to understand something. Because some people say, well, we don't own HBCUs. But that's okay, fair enough. But that's where the majority of us are, and that's where the spirit of black people are in those schools, right?
Yeah.
And you would have brought our best players to those schools, right? Bethune-Cookman, Howard, and you'd have 40 years of all that TV revenue money going there. Do you understand the level of black pride we would have had within our communities? Nobody would be able to stop us. They knew that. That's why what they did was give these niggas some jobs and some seats in the Congress and Senate. Give these niggas some mayoral jobs, right? Give them and fund them so that way they can do our bidding, because we cannot have them have any type of form of black pride, because they are the economy. They're the economy. So they knew. They already knew this, man. So what I'm saying is they give you surface level stuff. I'm telling family, you got to look beyond the curtain. Look up Reverend James Bevel and what he did in 1963 to mobilize the kids during the Civil Rights Movement. And because the reason why they mobilized the kids during the Civil Rights Movement, because a lot of the adults didn't want to take part in the Civil Rights Movement, not because they didn't care. They didn't want to lose their livelihood at the time. They would get fired from their jobs. They would get kicked out of schools. So James Bevel convinced Dr. King to say, hey, send the kids, because they don't have the time. Right, and if they sick the dogs and the holes on the kids, when the world news see this shit, all hell gonna break loose, and you don't get to tell people what to do. That was the strategy. That was the strategy back then. So now they're afraid of losing their seats and their jobs today, so they want the kids to come do it again.
And it all goes back to money. O'Shea did a video last week about Anton, right? How Anton is not calling out Chud the Builder, right? And we know why he's not going to do it. It goes back to money. He got a lot, he got a lot of right-wing conservatives that support him. He don't want to rock the boat. So of course he's not going to make videos, because if he holds Chud the Builder accountable, then he's holding the white supremacists accountable who watch him, because they have the same mindset. So his excuse was, I ain't gonna talk about Chud the Builder, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't finna get in my emotions and feelings about it. Hold on, but when it comes to black people, you break it down intellectually. You don't respond emotionally. You could have did the same thing with Chud. Break it down intellectually, not emotionally. But he made the excuse, man, talking about Chud, you know, you might lose your channels. I can't make no money. He made 1,000,001 excuses for why he couldn't hold Chud the Builder or that behavior accountable. Now let's flip it, street media. If Chud the Builder was a black man that was going around antagonizing white people in white communities, this fool would have made 100 videos by now. Black people are ignorant, they're violent, they're racist towards white folks. This is why everyone has black fatigue. He would have made 100 videos by now.
Because now watch this. Because I just spent the last 15 minutes going in on the Democrats. Now I'm going on the Republic. Now I'm going on. I went in on the Democrats. Now I'm going on the Republicans. Right, the Republicans. Right. The Republicans set out a mandate that when you black, we got a script that you gotta follow. You gotta work our script. When you see the majority of those conservatives that they put out on black conservatives, they put out in the front, they married white, and they have a certain script that they talk on, right? So they're never ever, you're never gonna see them holding white people accountable or going against the white power structure ever. They're here to chastise us. And remember, if a black person over there in Kentucky do something, he's not a lone wolf. It's all black people.
It's all black people.
It's all black people. But when they do something, it's their lone wolf. So this is why what happened with Myron. Myron got comfortable and thought he can mosey on over there with them, and they said, "Oh, what you doing, Darky? Get your no. We happy that you doing our bidding, but you know when we get all these blacks out, you got to go too, right?" They letting them know. So when you deal with that radical conservative right, man, listen, it's all the same, bro. It's all the same. Remember, Martin Luther King wasn't a Democrat or a Republican. He was an independent. See, these Democrats would never tell you that. His father was a Republican from the old school. He was an independent. He used to go at both parties, and call them out because they basically said that they failed. So, man, we just got to know our history, our FBA history, man, and know like the mistakes that we made and what we need to do going forward, man. But I'm telling you, this guy Myron Gaines and Chud the Builder and all those followers that's following him are a direct reflection of our failures to get things passed because we didn't leverage our power the way that our grandparents did in the 60s. We did not, and we had a perfect time to do it during the crack era because that's when our communities was under full siege. And right from 84 to about 89, and then around 1990, the murder rate went up to numbers that we had never saw. 1990 to 1990, from 84 to 1990, crack just went crazy. From 1990 to 1996, murders went crazy. Los Angeles, Philadelphia, New York City, Chicago. I mean, outside of the mid 70s, when Detroit and Philadelphia murder rates was high, that 1990 to 1996, we had from 12 years, 84 to 96. We had a whole span where we could have changed this thing, and we didn't do it because we sold out to the corporations. I land there.
Yeah, man, and you're right about that, street media, because by the time the 90s came, you began to see the after effects of crack cocaine and what it's done to the community. See, in the 80s, it was just coming. Once the 90s hit, you mix the drugs with the gang epidemic together, the murder rates was out of this damn world in the 90s.
I don't think people understand Los Angeles in 1992. So they talk just Los Angeles and the county, just the whole area. So if you had LA, just in LA, they had, was it 1,700 homicides, but over 3,000 homicides through the whole county wide.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
It was unbelievable, bro. Yeah.
So, like, but we just don't, like, man, we don't understand, bro. Like, we had ample time, and Chicago had in 1994 980 homicides. Chicago, we could have, New York City had 2,600. We could have been said, hey, listen, our commit, and we ain't got to talk about DC.
DC was off the chain. If you mix street gangs and crack cocaine, and it rhymes, street gangs and crack cocaine, oh my God, it was the height of the gang, height of gang culture was the 90s. Once the 90s began, you seen the after effect of the crack epidemic. So you mix both of those together in the black community, you got a fucking disaster.
And I'm saying all that to say, in that 12-year span from 84 to 1996, because I say 84 is when crack started to take off, maybe in Oakland and parts of California, New York. By 85, it was widespread, right? By 1990, that it was still big, but it was dying off. Like the Kingpin thing with the 80s was dying off, and then it went into hardcore gangbanging and killings at an all-time rate. We had that 12-year span. We could have did all that the NAACP is saying doing now. We could have did then, and we could have turned our communities around. Because I believe, this is just my belief. I don't put my spiritual beliefs on nobody. It's just George. I believe the guy opened up the portal for us, man. That out of chaos we could have brought, but we panicked. We begged the government and Joe Biden, his drug laws, and Ronald Reagan to send the goddamn to create a bill. Right, the 86 crime law, that's where they put the 100 to 1, not the 94 crime bill, the 86 crime bill. Look it up, the 86 crime bill where they put the 100 to 1 crack laws. That's where they start giving you 4 grams of crack. They give you 40 years, but you get locked up with 4 keys, you get probation. That came through Joe Biden in the 86 crime bill, right? The black clergy begged for them. Instead of them saying, no, we ain't begging for that. We not sending our players no more. We shutting y'all money down. That would have stopped. That would have stopped. They didn't do
it was stopping. I brought that up earlier, how, they know crack cocaine would more than likely be found in the inner cities. white boys in the suburbs had powder. So what they said was, we're going to give out a gang of time for crack. And 9 times out of 10, the people that's going to get caught with crack are black. So that crime bill was it was aimed at us directly, because they know if you go to inner cities across the country, you're going to find crack everywhere. So that gave them the opportunity for what? Mass incarceration. And you get 10 grams of crack cocaine versus somebody to get caught with a kilo in the suburbs. It's not even comparable. The crazy thing about it is this: you need cocaine to even make crack. So how are you giving me more time for crack when you need cocaine to even make this stuff?
Yes, it was called the Anti-Drug Abuse Act of 1986.
Yeah.
So he had the Anti-Drug Abuse Act of 86, then he had the one of 88, where he had the one of 82. This is all Joe Biden and Strom Thurmond. 82, 86, 88, and then 94. Right? So 94 is the most famous one, but the 86 bill was the one that really that tore niggas out of frame. So we just gotta, man, I'm just saying, man, like we got sold out. And I know I kind of moved it, the goalpost a little bit, but I wanted to show you why you have a Myron Gaines, because of the mistakes that was made in the past, created the avenues to have certain things, and we got to do better. But I tell you guys here, look up the 86 Anti-Drug Abuse Act, man. You know what's crazy? Because of that Anti-Drug Abuse Act, you still got a lot of family members that's still locked up because of that. That's why they created the First Step Act. It wasn't because of the 94 crime bill. It was the damn 86 crime bill that went into effect, that people got locked up in 88 and 1990. So I'm just saying, you know.
Yeah, man, they put a lot of fathers, and everything was strategic too, because, you know, a lot of those jobs started leaving the communities too. So you put drugs there and you tell people, well, you sell this cocaine, you're going to go to jail. But if you got to feed your kids and there's no jobs, you know, so what are you going to do? So a lot of people got in the game because they wanted to pay their bills. Then you got people who got in the game because they wanted to be rich. They want to be kingpins. Then you had the gangbangers who say, okay, we're going to sell this crack. That's how we're going to make our money. Yeah. And can't nobody, if you're not from this community, you can't sell drugs over here. So what did that do? That made the murder rate rise, because what started to happen was it was so much money off cocaine everywhere. You had people that was willing to kill you for selling in their territory. So that made the murder rate go up, because now instead of just gang banging, you're also battling for drug territory.
And so, remember, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You got it.
And remember, 90% of the black community ain't gang banging or selling drugs. They was hard working people getting up and going to work every day, and they became terrorized by the community. So what happens is the same way they was duped then, they being duped now. They being duped by the Democrats, because we already know. See, the thing is, we already know the Republicans are racist, right? We know that they're racist. The problem is you don't realize that the Democrats are racist too. So much that you're willing to overlook Kamala got a W husband. You're willing to overlook that, right? You're willing to overlook that they prioritize so many things over you because you say that those Republicans are so racist. Well, I'd rather just have the lesser of two evils. No, our grandparents never fought for the lesser of two evils. They fought for what was going to benefit them. The lesser of two evils is hurting your grandchildren. Listen to me. Whenever you say, well, I'll vote for Democrats, I'd rather not vote for Republican, think about your grandchildren and how you're hurting them, because you're hurting their future. You have to bond with your people with cultural integrity, the way our grandparents did, and fight for what's going to benefit us, not the lesser of a devil.
But let me say this, street media, because a lot of this one dude was like, well, you voted for Trump, he gonna get reparations. I said, my mindset ain't like that. A white man is not gonna get us reparations. We have to do something to force their hand to give us reparations. Now, what I said was this. They said, well, you voted for Trump. I'm like, yes, but I'm not a Republican. The only reason why I voted for Trump is because I wanted Trump to clean up this situation with the immigrants. If it wasn't for the immigrant situation, he would have never got my vote. Los Angeles, when I tell you illegal immigration destroyed my city, my community, I promise you, it's barely any black businesses left. Now, when you go to Crenshaw in certain areas, yes, we still got a strong black community in Los Angeles, but it's nothing like it used to be. And once the illegals came in, it literally destroyed many areas of Los Angeles that was once predominantly black. You know what I'm saying? So so go ahead.
And it's getting crazy, because all see what they did was is a stage. Donald Trump and them was on stage left. Donald Trump's job was to bring out all the patriarchal, racist white males, and he brought them all to the stage. And the problem is, in 2026, that 1950s "Make America Great Again" don't work for the day with the technology because their children don't agree with them. So they're going to lose in the midterms. The Dems will be back in power, but this is what they did. He exposed this country, but he did two things. He exposed how racist this country is, Donald Trump did, and he also exposed that they can give you reparations by this bill they just passed, right? They give his people, they give to his people. But he exposed, I predicted this years ago. He exposed how he uncovered just how racist America still is. But we're going into the 2030 agenda, and in the 2030 agenda for sustainable development, you see women coming into rights and LGBT community and all-inclusive society. The old white man's way of thinking don't work, so they're being exposed. He's going to lose in the midterms. These people are going to get back in power, but they're not going to undo all the things that Trump did. Trump was to be the bad guy, to enforce the rules and bring in certain things. When the Democrats get in, they're not going to undo none of the crap. And what they did to you was, you hate Trump so much, you're willing to overlook them putting the trans stuff in front of you in your schools. Like now, because they hate Trump so much, everything that you wouldn't accept the Democrats to do, you're going to accept it now. Got you. They playing with your mind. They played you because you hate the Republicans are so racist, and they are, right? But you lost your own frame of thought. Forget them being racist. What about your own integrity and what you stood on? You said you didn't want the immigrants in your community. You didn't want trans in your schools, but they conditioned you to hate Trump so much, you willing to overlook all of that just to get him out of office.
Yeah, and my thing is this, Street Meat. I wanted to hear this from your perspective. What is it going to take to get black people to stop being so loyal to the Democratic Party?
God. divine intervention. God's gonna have to send God. This, like I said, this is just me. This is my belief. This thing is so tight on how they got us. It's gonna have to be something catastrophic to happen to the point where there's going to be a new consciousness that's going to permeate through the minds of our people. Because right now, the way it's set up, we're incapable of fixing it. Because we too far going outside of ourselves for everything that we need. We're too used, like we literally can be in our communities and we're cool. Why we cool with every corner store is an immigrant store, not ours. We cool with when we go into a restaurant, we don't own it, right? We cool with that. We say we not, but I don't go by what people say out their mouth. I watch what they do. We've been conditioned to be okay with lack and not having. So what I'm saying is there's going to have to be some type of intervention within the subconscious mind to fix this. Because you can't just go, one person can't go out and fix it because he's not going to have the support because they got the game checkmated. The minute you step up and I step up, nigga, we're going to fire this nigga from his job. That nigga going to show up to his job the next day. So all I'm saying is, man, listen, something going to have to happen. I ain't talking about no Muhammad, Buddha, Jesus. No, this going to have to be some type of divine, whatever it is that governs this whole thing, that's responsible for us. That thing gonna have to step in and save some black people because, or give us the consciousness to save ourselves. It's gonna have to be a changing of the mind. And for me, I don't know how we fix that.
I know, huh? That's what I was just wanted to get your perspective on that because it's like, man, people like when do you realize, like, come on, man, like, what is it going to take? Like, you continue to get loyalty to this party. My thing is this. When we had the numbers, this is why they fought so hard to decrease our numbers, because they knew if black people ever wake up, if they continue to reproduce, have babies in black families, and if they decide to organize one day, they're going to take over this country. See, when our numbers was up, that was a time to demand for reparations. To demand reparations, we should have said no vote, because the Democrats needed us. They really needed us, right? And they needed our votes. We should have said, without reparations, we're not going to play for your things. We're not going to give you no votes. You got to hit these people in the pocket where it hurts. That's the only time they're going to do something that works in your favor. They damn near got to be forced to do it. All right, well, if you don't give us this, we don't do this. It got to be some type of negotiation like that.
Yeah, listen, bro, I'm with you 10,000%. And I just, for life of me, like I said, for me, I pray sometime. I run 3 miles every other day. I go running. I'll be asking like, give us a sign, show us something. Like how we get out of this, man? How do we get even if my whole thing is this? Because I do mine's from a spiritual perspective. It's like the story of Moses, right? He leading his people. He can't take them to the promised land, but he led them to it, right? Yeah. Even if I'm thinking futuristic, everything I'm doing now, Craig, is for my grandchildren and great grandchildren. Not even my children, my grandchildren and great grandchildren. I want to be the seed planter. I want to be the one that lead them there. So maybe my picture's on the wall 70 years from now. They say, well, who that man right there? That's your great great grandfather, man. He was the one that started this.
Yeah.
I might not get there, like King said, but I want to be the one to get the wheels in motion. That's the way I'm thinking.
Right. Tupac said it too. He just said it in a whole nother way. Tupac said, I probably can't change the world, but I'm gonna spark the brain of the people who will.
There you go. Let's plant the seed and provide water.
Yeah.
Protection. I call it protection, direction, and correction. Right. I might be on my deathbed when it happened, but I can say, you know what? I did this for them.
Yeah.
That's it. So let me get out of here, man. That's all I'm saying. But remember, Myron is a direct reflection of everything that we just talked about.
Yeah, for sure.
We got to be like detectives. We got to go backwards to come forward. And when you go backwards, you start cleaning up you start sweeping behind the walls, cleaning the baseboards. You start cleaning house, getting everything out in the dumpster to put all new stuff in there, right? And when you start cleaning, you look under the couch, you see Myron and Tommy and them. Hey, what the hell y'all doing? You start sweeping them out because they trying to hide. They know you clean it up. They trying to hide, right? You lift up the mattress. You see Myron under there and shit, right? So we got to do spring cleaning. That's all.
Yeah, man. Well, I appreciate you, bro, for pulling up, man. Hey, the people needed this one, man. They needed this Sunday morning inspiration, man. They needed it. Shout out to my man for pulling up, man, because that was dope right there. You know, our people needed to hear this motivational. They needed to hear this. It's motivation, it's inspiration. It's way bigger than entertainment over here, man. So like Tupac said, man, I might not be able to change the world, but I spark the brain of the people who will. You got to plant those seeds. You got to water the foundation. And what he said is very true. Sometimes you got to take steps backwards in order to move forward, because you got to say, okay, what's wrong? Oh, the foundation is shaky. So I got to go backwards to get to the foundation and tighten that up, make sure that the foundation is solid, and then we move forward. But there's no way. It is impossible to move forward with a shaky foundation and it's not solid. Everything is on shaky ground. It's impossible to move forward like that. Let me tell you this. Black people being diehard Democrats is one of the main reasons that we haven't got no reparations. We haven't stand up. We didn't stand up for it. Excuse me. We didn't stand up for it and we didn't fight for it. If we would have said a long time ago, guess what? We're not going to play on your teams. We're not going to go to the NFL. We're not going to go to the NBA. We're not going to go to your schools. We're not going to do any of that unless you guys give us some reparations. I said this last night on my podcast. I said, Black people, we got to do something. Listen, in other words, we got to force the hand of the white man. You got to force the hand of the white man. He's not going to give up reparations willingly. You got to put him in a position to where it hurts his pockets, it hurts his money, and then he looks at the bigger picture and says, oh, man, just give it to him, man. Because sports might be the biggest cash cow in this country. And when you think about who dominates the NBA and the NFL, we already know who does that. It is us. So without our talent, if you took away all the FBA talent, that hurts them. That hits them in their pockets. They lose trillions of dollars, not millions, not billions. They lose trillions of dollars without Black athletes. So if we would have took a stance a long time ago and said, if you don't do this, then we're not going to do that. You got to force the hand of the white man to make him do the right thing. You got to force the hand of the white man to make him give you reparations. He's not going to give it up willingly. They already said, they said, man, we're going to give 1.8 billion to the so-called people from when they stormed the Capitol. When they stormed the Capitol, we're going to give these people 1.8 billion. They got money for everything else, right? But when it's time for reparations, oh, we don't have the money. If we gave black folks reparations, that'll cripple the country. That'll cripple the economy. Where are we going to get the money from? Who's going to pay for it? This is unfair. I didn't own slaves. I shouldn't have to pay. I shouldn't have to use my taxes for this. None of that money should come up out of my taxes. My family didn't own slaves. So what I'm saying is this, they're not going to give it up willingly. We got to force the hand of the white man to get what's rightfully owed to us. Action for it ain't going to cut it. We gotta operate from a position of power, but guess what? That requires a whole lot of unity. That requires millions of foundational black Americans being on code. That's the requirement right there. Because if we're not on code, it's never gonna happen. The only way you force the hand of the white man, you need unity, structure, discipline, and order. You must organize and strategize to force the hand of the white man so that he'll do something that works in your favor. He's not going to give it up willingly. Nah, man. Foundational black Americans must apply heavy pressure to get that white man to get that white man to pay what he to get that white man to pay us what we are rightfully owed. You got to organize, you got to strategize. So it just is what it is, man. I think I done said enough on that, man. I appreciate everybody for pulling up. Nah, man, they're not going to give it up willingly. We got to tell those people, if you don't do this, then we don't do that. That's the only way they're going to do something that works in your favor. That's the only way they're going to give you the money that's rightfully owed. Without strategy, unfortunately, there will be no reparations. Without structure, organization, there will be no reparations. Black people got to come together on one accord to get something done. And if we can't come together to get something done, if we can't come on one accord, let me tell you something. The Democrats already know they ain't got to give you nothing. They're going to get your vote regardless. 90+% of black women voted for Kamala Harris. 70+% of black men voted for Kamala Harris. So the Democrats already know they ain't got to give black people nothing. All you got to do is make black people feel good. Give them Megan Thee Stallion and some fried chicken, they'll be okay. Give black folks Megan Thee Stallion and some fried chicken and they'll be okay. You ain't got to worry about black folks no more. They're going to go somewhere and sit down once you give them that fried chicken and Megan Thee Stallion. All you got to do is make black people feel good. Tell them what they want to hear and make them feel good and they'll vote for you regardless. Anyway, man, I'm going to get up out of here, man. It's King Supreme. Make sure that you guys hit the like button. Share the content, man. It was beautiful. This is Sunday motivation. This is Sunday inspiration. Coming from the foundation. Excuse me. Coming from the foundation. Motivation, inspiration coming from the foundation, FBA. See, let me tell you something, FBA. I'm with y'all. I'm a soldier on the front line. But don't expect for me to do things the way that you do it. My message towards black women may be different towards yours, but at the end of the day, I'm still riding for FBA. At the end of the day, I'm still riding for FBA. I just do things differently. I operate differently. My mindset is different. I think different. I move different. But at the same time, at the end of the day, I am still rocking for FBA. Peace, love, and blessings, giving you game to keep you from stressing. It's your player partner, King Supreme. Make sure that you like to stream on your way out. I'm up out of here, y'all. I'm gone.